You need to be highly motivated. You need to have a skill set that would enable you to have very personable skills to deal with potential customers. You need to be convincing. You will have a very clear and concise manner about you, and you need to have a belief in yourself that matches the company that you perhaps will choose to work for. You're going to have options. You may prefer to work for a company that has a big team of say 15, 20 people, or you may prefer to work for a smaller independent office where you're going to get more of a hands-on approach, more direct mentoring from one of the top sales guys in the office, somebody that's prepared to give you some of their time, because of course it will benefit them moving forward. That office will become more affluent, and in turn you will grow into that team and become an important member of the team. If you're going to start solo, you've got to select an area that you fit in well with. So for example, if you've lived in an area for a few years, or maybe you've lived in an area for most of your life, pick an area where you may know a few people. That's going to be a big help. A lot of being a successful estate agent is good networking and relying on referral business, a referral from a family member or even a personal friend. But ideally you're going to get to know that area to a certain extent before you make a choice to work within an office in that area. What does a customer like about me? It's the personable approach. I'm not from a corporate background. I'm very friendly, very open. I don't overpromise. I've got to be realistic. I've got to say what I'm going to do, and I've got to stick to that. There's no point in me promising them silly prices or unrealistic timeframes. I've got to turn up and do exactly what I've said I'm going to do. That customer is very important to me, and of course we both want the same result at the end of the day. We want a successful transaction. The best place to start is an area which you've got some familiarity with. So for example, an area you may have grown up in or you've worked previously, you may live in that area right now. Of course, that can't always be the case. You may be coming from overseas, you may have some experience in another country where historically we've taken people on from all over Europe and even from the US and the Asian continents. Where do you look to base yourself? Yes, going back to an area you're familiar with. Have a look around. Don't just look through the job listings and pick somewhere where it's a great opportunity with salary. It's not all about the money. You want to select 2, 3 or 4 of the market leaders. So you're looking at researching who are the best agents in town. You'll know this by looking on the portals or walking through the area itself and looking at who's got for sale boards, sold boards, etc. If you're offered a property that's a bit of a distance from where you're actually based, where you're working out of, the best way to start is to work a radius around where you're based, whether it be in the office or you're working from home or in a shared office space. Operate within that area where you're familiar, because there's no point in taking on a property that's some miles away. You're unfamiliar with the location. You haven't got the client base as far as buyers or tenants looking in that area specifically. You're not going to service that potential customer as well as a more localized agent would do so. When choosing an area for myself, more recently, I've moved around different countries, different areas. I will always look for the demographics of that area. It's very important to maybe pick an area that's perhaps trending at the same time. Pick an area where it's popular with both maybe families, people in business, good schools, for example, an up and coming area, or perhaps an area that's got good potential growth moving forward.